I'd like to speak to you about retirement. In fact, I want to call this Retire, Reboot, Repurpose. A lot of people dream of something. Perhaps it is spending more time with their family. Maybe it's traveling the world, seeing things they've always wanted to. Perhaps it's spending time in hobbies like golf or sailing or gardening or doing projects around the house. But for many of us who have worked hard for years, the first thing we are thinking about is rest. Perhaps you haven't been so very fortunate in life with health and you need to retire earlier for your health. You may have heard that I retired early from medicine so that I could do more ministry. And in fact, I would like it if many of you could do that as well. You might say, well, financially, I'm not sure that I can. Oh, you were a rich doctor, you can do this. But that's not really the whole story. What I would say is, if you would like to serve God, do think about your life, what kind of legacy you want to give, and your retirement. Could you possibly retire early? Think about it now, not until you're old, because I do have a couple of friends who waited until they were older to serve God and then they couldn't do it. So that's not ideal, and don't let that be you. But start thinking about how you might be able to live more simply now, to put money away for your future, to plan ahead and have less financial burden. And of course, we do talk elsewhere about going part-time for Jesus. If you feel like you'd like to start before you retire, then maybe scaling back would help you with that as well. But what if you don't like retirement? I have several friends in the medical community who wanted to retire, but found they were too bored and wanted to go back to work. Well, we can find some things for you to do so you're not bored and don't need to go back to work. There are a lot of active working people who want to volunteer, who want to go out, who have hearts to bring Muslims, Sikhs, and Hindus to Christ, but their schedule doesn't allow it. So we really would like to have retired people help us out. They're the ones that have more flexibility in their schedule. You, if you're retired, you can go out with us to campus. You can go out to lunch in places where there are many refugees. You can go to mosques and visit them on Friday afternoon when working people can't. So we would love to have you because of the flexibility of your schedule. Also, as an elder, you are respected in many of the communities that come to America from these other countries. And God is bringing them to us in great numbers so that we don't have to go overseas. And those of us that are older, who have experience, who can be like aunts and uncles and grandparents to internationals, have several really important skills that are helpful. One is availability. The other is just our age and wisdom. The other being, if we're older, people can know that we're not like, if I'm with young people or college students and I'm old enough to be their mother or grandmother, it's not a worry with the guys or anything like that. So there are many benefits to being older besides your schedule. The other thing I want to talk to you about with being older is to, as we talked about, reboot or retrain. Perhaps you liked what you were doing as your job. For example, I know of an accountant who wanted to quit working, but found a way to use that to help missionaries or ministries as a volunteer basis after retirement. Certainly medical people can do that, and I've used my medical training on ministry trips and events. So we can repurpose what we have, or we could get training to do something else. Maybe you would like to know more about, for example, Islam. You can train with us to really know a lot about Islam so that you can discuss it with other people. So there's a variety of things that you can do in retirement. You can use what you already know to another way of serving God. You can retrain and learn something else. You can use your time and just all kinds of opportunities. So what I want to encourage you to do is, if you're not retired, look at your schedule, your portfolio, as we call it, of investments, and look at how you might be able to downsize your lifestyle, spend less money so that you can retire earlier before you're totally worn out. You don't want to only give God your limping body if you could give more. But what if you are retired and all you have at this point is a limping body? Well, some of us have had to go out limping. But also you can do more in prayer if you have retired younger or you're strong enough. And believe me, it doesn't take as much strength as you might think. But if you have some strength, please use your time to go with us or on your own to reach the immigrants in the West, America and Europe. Go to where they live. Train in what to do and say. Come alongside us, or let us come alongside you so that you can be retired, but also rebooted and have a purpose to leave a legacy that's more than money. That's seeds that you've planted that can grow long after you yourself have passed on to glory.